Oh my God, where have y'all been? Right? Not y'all, me. I take full responsibility for that, right? But y'all already know what it is. It's your girl, Shay Gibson, aka Sister Shay, also known as Shay Butter, broadcasting live from her spot. And just to kind of let you know a little bit about who I am an emancipated workaholic that is discovering what it means to creatively create my way to my own freedom. Yep, that's what it is. That's what it is. It's been a long time. I know that it has been a long time, and so much has happened. Good, bad, indifferent, losses, growth, stretch, working through health issues and things like that. But guess what? I am here. I am here right now, this moment, at this time, right now with you and me and you, we doing this thing, right? So, and I just want to kind of, it's so many things that I could talk about, but I want to give a shout out to a sister friend of mine that I not too long ago met, but she is a phenomenal sister. Her name is Anouk. And Anouk, I watched her video. I talked to her yesterday, and I told her that a video inspired me. And because this is something that was dear to me. And when life starts lifing, and then you start making different decisions, and it pushes you away from the things that you love and that you love to do. And sometimes it takes a long time before we get real back in to doing what we're actually really passionate about. Now, we'll do other things, help people and all of that type of stuff, but a lot of times those things can be very unfulfilling when it comes to our walk and our journey, because we can pour into people and we can deposit into people, and people can constantly withdraw, and nobody's not pouring back into us or depositing positive energy, and sometimes we have to disconnect, unplug, and all of that good stuff. And that was my way of doing things, unplugging and kind of disconnecting, and then wasting time. And I do mean that. Wasting time scrolling and swiping, watching other people live out their lives and walk in their destiny and do the things that brings them joy, while I'm sitting up there just watching on the other side and wasting minutes, hours of time of that. And but I am grateful to every single person that I did watch, and I say thank you to you for allowing me us in to kind of see your life and to laugh and to get angry about things, to all of the emotions, and so I thank you for that, because it lets me know, you know what, I need to start doing what I am passionate about, what brings me joy. So Anouk has her gospel show, and she does interviews and things like that on her channel. And I was like, you know what? I sent her one of my old videos that I did in 2022. God, it's been a long time, because it's like 2025. Jesus. But anyway, and she was like, you got to get back on it. And I thank her so much for sharing that, because she was just like, you still look amazing, your skin looks flawless, and and I was like, well, thank you. That's that Shay's butter souffle, by the way. Yeah, that's why I'm trying to get this together, because that Shea butter souffle is a beast. I'm really for real, I'm about 112 years old. Really, I'm half that age, but I still this Shea butter souffle got, I've been souffled, baby. I've been souffled. The owner and the creator can't half step. You see that? You see that? I'm working on the website, everything. I know I have procrastinated, but I am serious. I am really working on that thing, and I'm just gonna I'm gonna make it work. I'm gonna make it work. Well, anyway, what am I talking about today? Okay, so as always, I know the last couple of times I really didn't have a story, but today I do have a story, and it took place in 1985. I was living in Chicago because I was born and raised in Chicago, in case y'all didn't know. South side of the Shire, Wild Hunters, what's happening? South side! Had to do it. Sorry. But anyway, sorry, not sorry. You know, I still represent. That's still, even though over half my life has been in Louisiana, I still represent the Shire because that's how I grew up. That's where I was. Shout out to West Pullman. Shout out to Ralph H. Metcalf Magnet in West Pullman Park area. Shout out to George Washington Carver High, Agale Gardens. I think it's a military school now. Shout out to Chicago State University, because when I was in high school, half my day was at Chicago State University. I got college credits by in high school, you know, math and English. So, you know, that's my journey. That's my journey. Well, in 1985, at this point, I am a sophomore in high school. And that's when, you know, pop locking started, you know, kind of trailblazing the community. And a person that loves to dance, you know, prior to pop locking, I was house music. Dun 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 dun. You said you were my lady, hey, and my love is true. I can't sing, y'all, but as soon as I turn my back, baby, look what you going. But baby, I know, I'm off. I'm probably singing in the key of Q, but I don't care. That was the cut. You know, we listening to the house mixes on Friday and Saturday, and we in the house. We stayed in a brownstone. We had wood floors with these tall ceilings on the second floor. Had this big old mirror in the wall, and that was kind of built into the wall with these wood columns. I can still see it, you know, and it was beautiful wood. I mean, it was actually really a beautiful apartment. We just didn't have a good landlord that took care of the building, you know. So and it didn't help that the ceiling fell in from the blizzard of '79. We're not gonna talk about that, but anyway. So, and like I said, I grew up housing. But then I started seeing pop locking, and I was like, man, I'm really vibing with that. I'm loving it. So what I would see the guys, you know, to be out there, you know, because that also too was like your little low key gang, right? You had your major gangs back in the day, like Vice Lords and Disciples, because both of them were kind of like in my area, right? But you know, you low key had the little pop locking gangs, you know, or whatever. So I belong to a group called Renegade Rockers, right? And but I was watching, I was on the sidelines, and I would see the moves and stuff, and then I wouldn't do it then. I'll go home, and I'm standing in the living room with these wood floors. I'm in there, you know, kind of, you know, learning, just kind of all types of little, you know, little stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? You know, just in case somebody want to start something, you know, I still got a wave or two. You know what I'm saying? And so I taught myself how to pop, how to tick, how to glide, you know, and all of that. And then, you know, one day I just kind of, you know, let the guys kind of show them. They was like, oh man, you know, all I could do was backspin. I couldn't like rock the copter, you know, none of that. I couldn't do any of that. But I am going to be standing on the side like this though, on the other side of that linoleum, mean mugging, waiting for my chance or waiting for somebody to challenge me. But anyway, that was my jam. So, I was running track, and my track coach, and I don't even know Well, he knew I danced. He knew I danced. So I was like, I don't. I'm talking to y'all now, but I'm just really trying to figure out why was I selected. But God, right? So and he was like, well, Shay, I'm doing a record, and I want you to be on a record. And I was low key trying to rap too. You know what I'm saying? I was trying. I was 16, who wouldn't be trying, in the height of breakdancing and all of that stuff. I was like, let me see. My name is Push Shay. They call me Shay. I'm a female MC and I'm rocking this way. When I get a microphone, you better watch out, because I'm going to tell all your people what I'm really about. I'm smoking terrific from Atlanta to Pacific, from coast to coast, from east to west. I'm rapping so hard, I'm considered the best. I'm rough and tough and my rap is mean, because I'm a sexy hot tourist on the hip hop scene. Now that you heard my rap and call my beat, just clap your hands and stomp your feet, because I'm a devastator rapper and I'm letting you know that I'm the only female that's rocking this show. Man, I can't believe I remember that. I'm sorry, I'm laughing at myself. Woo! Yeah. I wrote that when I was 16. I thought I was doing something, pop locking. So I was doing something. I ain't gonna say I thought I was. I was doing my thing. But so he knew that I rapped. So call myself rapping. I wasn't really. That's all I had. That's all I had in the arsenal. And he said, I want to do a rap about reading, because back then a lot of students were getting passed to the next level, and they really couldn't read, but the teachers just didn't feel like trying. We're starting to see that now. You know what I'm saying? Especially with our children that get the title of ADHD and all this type of stuff. No, them babies are just really, really creative. And you got to get creative with those students, and you got to meet them where they are. Point blank, period, in the story. And if you're not, and you got to be on it, because they're going to challenge you, because they want to be challenged. They don't want to sit there, because if they're bored, baby, they're going to tear your class up. You know how I'm talking from experience. I was a teacher, and I'm telling you. So I thank God that I work for a school in a homeschool setting that allowed me to teach the way that I wished I would have been taught. I had 5 boys in my classroom, and baby, if they looked like they was getting bored, I stayed on top of it. I don't know. I think I may have mentioned that I used to buy Halloween masks when it wasn't even Halloween. I mean, I used to get down on the floor with them. We used to play. We used to study. I was firm, but I was fair, and I was fun. So either way, he wanted to do a rap about reading. And the title of the song was called Boogie with the Book, right? It's called Boogie with the Book. I have credit for as a writer, because I actually wrote 12 bars. 8 of those bars were used. One of my friends, Sherry really couldn't come up with anything, so he said, well, look, can you give Sherry 4 of your lines and then you do the last 4? I was like, yeah. So she got the first 4 bars, and then I got the last 4 bars, and then her sister Kim, who hated shout out to Kim and Sherry Beavers. I don't know if they will ever see this, but y'all, I love y'all so much and I miss y'all so much. But she hated her lies. She hated her lies because her line was read instead of weed. And she had to say it twice, and she hated it. But you know what? It fit in, and it was well received. So this is my first time ever going to a studio. We went to a studio downtown Chicago. It was a brownstone, and I just remember I was like, man, this don't, because you're a kid, you thinking like this is gonna be a studio, it's gonna be neon lights, it's gonna be this big extravagant building and all this type of stuff. But I was like, this is a house, But oh man, I wish I could. I cannot say my coach's name, but he was also a musician. And so these were his friends. And this studio that we went to was the same studio that the Shy-Lights recorded, and other Chicago artists recorded in this studio. So we went downstairs in the basement, it was small in there too. It was small. We were in there. We was kind of bunched up, And I mean, we had a break where if we didn't have any lines, we could write. But I had already written mine, and he went through it. And as an artist, you're a little sensitive. He's like, okay, I like these and I like these. We're gonna take these out. I said, what you mean we're gonna take these out? Like I was the star, right? And so he had to explain to me. I was like, all right. And he said, and then as if that wasn't the blow. Then he was like, okay, I need you to split it. Can you give 4 lines to share? I said, what? But he said, you're gonna get credit as a writer. Okay. I'm a kid. I'm 16, So, so then that happens. And so now, once everybody gets everything together and they know what order that they wanted to go in and all of this type of stuff. And, man, it was one of the best experiences that I had ever had. Just being in the atmosphere. I'm sitting there, you got the headphones on, you in the box, you got this microphone. Who knew that was going to be the start of something? Even though, like, almost 10 years later, I didn't start really writing poetry, until I was like 25. And, but who knew? Who knew that would start something? Who knew that, that would be something that I would end up having strong passion for? I had no idea. Right? And as we recorded and we got down to the end, it was celebratory. It was the bomb, and I was like, oh man. And so, oh man, I keep wanting to say the coach's name, but it's not coming to me. But so now, where coach is setting things up where we can perform and all of this type of stuff. So I never forget, because we were getting ready to move to Louisiana. My mom and my brother were gone, and I was working my first teaching job. Actually, I was working as a teacher's aide for the Chicago School Board. So got my first job at 16 working for the Chicago School Board. So I was staying with my godparents, my cousin godparents. I was staying there for the summer so I could work the job. So I had this performance, and I told my godmother, so she was driving me there, and she just kind of like put on, she was always cute and fancy, but to her, that was not her going out outfit. And she's like, I'm just gonna sit in the car and I'm gonna let you perform, and then I just be waiting out here. So I was like, you don't want to come inside? She said, no, I'm not dressed. So we were in this beautiful subdivision. We weren't on the south side. If we were on the south side, we were way north of where I was, because I grew up in the Wild Hundreds. For people who are familiar with Chicago, if you know, Wild Hundreds, not hundreds, Wild Hundreds, like that. But if you know, you know. So we got there, and she was in the car. It was a nice neighborhood, so she felt safe to sit in the car. So I was walking up. The lady said, you here by yourself? I said, no, my godmother, she's in the car, and she said she's not dressed, and she didn't want to come in, especially, seeing the area and stuff. She was like, no, she can't sit in the car. Tell her to come in. I was like, I don't know, you might have to help me. So the lady walked with me to my godmother's car, and I knocked, and she said, man, and she said, come inside. She said, oh girl, I am just not dressed. I just had this, my little da-da-da-da-da. And she was like, she said, this is a pool party. People are chilling. Come on in this house. So we get out, and we get out the car. And so we walked through the lady's garage, and we kind of stepped down in what was like a nice basement, like people could just chill out. It had a bar in it. It was so cool. And then we walked through there, and then we came up some stairs, and then now we outside at the pool. Baby, when I tell you the who's who of Chicago was at that spot, and I'm talking about representatives and stuff, like all black people, mind you, all black people. And I was like, oh my God. So I'm looking at all of my friends and stuff that's on the record with me. We're all there, and coach is there, and And so I was like, well, how are we going to perform? Because it's not like a stage or nothing like that. Well, they had this one little area that was just concrete. They had some tables and chairs. It was like kind of like across on the other side of the pool. But it was just kind of like a little area that had more walking room. And so now they play the record. They played a record, and so we're rapping to our track. And so me and this guy named Terrell, who's known on the album on the record as Terrible T, and I'm known as just Shay. So we got this break in the song where it's scratching and mixing with Magic Mike on there scratching and mixing and stuff. And of course, like I said, we had like a little routine that we did, that we was like, I wish y'all could see the whole body wave. Y'all can't see it. But anyway, I'm having a whole moment on my couch, right? So we broke that thing down on the scratch. And man, let me tell you, the claps and the screams and all of that, man, that was the first time that I had ever experienced that. I mean, it was like this adrenaline rush. It was like this, man, this feels so good. And I mean, we got so much love, baby. We didn't know that they had pressed the records. We hadn't even got our records yet. He had the records that night, and we sold out of our records. He gave us our own copy. Each of us all got a copy, but we sold the rest of them that night. And my godmother had no idea. She had no idea. She was like, "That's my baby. Oh my God, that's my baby. That's my baby." And when I got through, she was like, "I didn't know you did that. I didn't know you did that." Which, I low key just kind of did stuff, and my mom, single parent, she worked graves. So a lot of stuff that I was really interested in, she really didn't get a chance to see until I was actually at an event and she was able to go if she was off. So people really didn't know. And my godmother was just like flabbergasted. And she called my mom. She was bragging. "Oh, I was there. My baby did this and my baby did that." Just rubbing it in. I was like, really? But like I said, it felt so good. And that's when I learned that my voice is my superpower. Like, for real. I really learned that my voice was my superpower. And I really didn't know that what I do every day brings people joy. And that was the start of it. But I still didn't know. I really didn't know. I think when it really hit me was when I got into a talent show. And I didn't win the first time. But I got a standing ovation, and people literally came to me and was hugging me. It was like, "Oh my God, we needed that." And I wasn't even doing my own work then. I was doing Negro Mother by Langston Hughes. And then I skipped a year and I got into it again. I said, I'm going to try it again. And so I was a little bit more confident. I was writing more. I was writing then, but I wasn't performing my work. So I got into Citywide Talent Show, and this time I won. And I collected my $500. JoJo and KC were the celebrity artists that performed that night. It was in Baton Rouge. And then I won LSU's contest, and they couldn't give me money, but I opened up for Outkast, because I won the show. And then I did it again in Shreveport. I got in Citywide Talent Show, won, went to collect my $500, and the program director was like, "Man, I love your voice. Have you ever thought about doing radio?" I was like, "No, but I will. Let's talk about that," right? So my voice became my superpower, and I never noticed it. I was a no nonsense type of kid. I didn't play no games. When I say no nonsense, I mean I was a hothead. I had a responsibility of taking care of my brother, who was 2 years younger than me. So I wasn't trying to really make friends, because if I had to fight you, I didn't want it to be a conflict of interest. That's just what it was. That's just who I was at the time, right? So, but having that opportunity, so you guys can look this up. on YouTube, Carver High, Boogie with the Book. All you're going to see is the little record cover, and you're going to see Shay at the top right hand corner next to Terrell, aka Terrible T. I have bangs and my hair is pulled back in a ponytail. Face still look the same. My hair is in a perm with bangs and a ponytail, and that is the album. And so the line that I wrote, that Sherry said was, to all you people hanging on the street, we want you to listen to an educated beat. We can show you how. We can get you hooked. Just come with us and Boogie with a Book. My line was, to all you gangbangers, criminals, and crooks, you need to cut it out and open up a book. We're delivering this message not exclusive to you, but here's something we want you to do. And then Kim came in and said, read instead of weed. Oh, she hated that line. Oh, she hated that line. But that was my journey, y'all. So I learned then that my voice is my superpower. And I'm so grateful for that opportunity, not knowing that it was going to bring me to where I am right now. And that's sitting in front of you and telling you my story and telling you about my journey. So before I close this thing out, let me say this. It's always something that we're drawn to, and that seems very effortless. And we always kind of put it on the back burner, not really looking at it because we're trying to look at something that's a little bit bigger, that we feel like it's gonna, we're gonna get more noticed. It's always something that we just do naturally. It's second nature. We don't have to think about it. It's not hard. When we do it, it brings us joy. It doesn't seem like work, So I'm speaking to you, also speaking to myself, because I've been out of commission doing this that I'm doing with you guys now for almost 2 years. And my voice is my superpower. What is your superpower? What is it that you put on the back burner that you don't think, oh, no, I can't do that. I can't do that. Well, I mean, we may not be balling out of control, but it's some liberation in doing what we're passionate about. And when I say liberation, I mean, we are liberated. I mean, we can walk freely in that gift, and we can enjoy it and allow it to bring joy to our hearts and other people. Because, whether if you cook, if you meal prep, if you sew, if you design, if you are a coordinator, if you are a party planner, if you are a minister, and you minister in just all different types of capacity, really, our gift is a part of ministry. That's what it is. So when we tap into that thing, fearlessly, standing 10 toes down, and allowing our love to show up. Just like when you go to restaurants and you go to people's places and stuff like that, you can taste love in people's food. Yeah, you can taste love in people's food. You can go to a place and people are singing, but you could actually pick the person out that is singing with pure passion and allowing God to move through their soul. You can hear the difference. I don't care if you do all these different types of runs, but if you are in that thing and you can see that spirit and that light in that person, that's that passion. That's that fire. That's because we are allowing God to show up in that gift and guiding us and leading us in their whole path, allowing him to just lay down those stones, those stepping stones, so we could just really walk and step into that journey of that passion, that joy, that liberation that it brings to our soul, to just being able to honor our gifts and our passion. My voice is my superpower. It is what it is. I can run from it. I can mute myself, but at the end of the day, this thing right here that you hear right now, this is my superpower. My voice is my superpower. What is your superpower? Tap into that thing. Bask into that thing. You were born for it. Do it. Yeah, I'm talking to you, but I'm talking to me too. I'm talking to me too. So, hey, look, I'm closing out. I hit my 30-minute mark. Didn't know it was going to be that long, but hey, it is what it is. I'm trying to see if I can see this without putting on my little bifocals. I don't know how this is going to turn out. I tried to walk through it on this poem, so excuse me if I get tongue-tied. I am excited to read this because I had not read this. So, ha! It's not a new piece, but it's new to you. I've written it a while ago, but I never performed it. So here we go. This piece is entitled Born to Be. Born to Be. I was created to be the voice of authority, demanding us to be. Be who God called us to be. We are not who they say we are. Our past does not define us. We are the epitome of bravery, survivors of schematic circumstances. And through it all, we are still standing. Standing to face this very day. Our day of victory, triumphantly victorious. We were birthed for this day. We were built for this, equipped for this. We went the distance when all others weren't listening, wishing they could understand our vision. But we made the decision to go forth on this faith mission, completely submitting, totally committing and surrendering to be. Not just existing, but to be. We are free, born to be brilliant, born to be resilient, born to be diligent, sprint after our destiny, snatch back our dreams, aggressively attack our calling, worship with urgency. This is an emergency C-section. Our spiritual and physical wound needs to be healed. Our umbilical cord of doubt is trying to strangle our newborn. Uncertain about the outcome of our delivery, we temporarily pause our pushing and delay our birthing process. We are too far along to abort. So what do? We bear down and we push hard. We push through the lessons and turn them into blessings. Turn tragedy into triumph. We are not accidents. It doesn't matter what they told us. We were selected, perfect with our imperfections, under the supervision of wisdom. We were born to be mothers of this earth, caretakers of the universe, queens of righteousness, sisters of integrity, brought into life by birth, brought into existence, created, destiny reincarnated, wisdom born of experience, born to be bold, born to be strong, born to be spirit-filled. We were born to worship, be, born to be equipped, beat evil, bring enlightenment, brood energy, be, present, singular, I, first person, am. I am because he says I am. I will be what he called me to be. I'm the reflection of his light, born to be light, illuminating and exuding his love, a glow that forces you to see radiance that is indescribable, a wonder filled with his power, a presence profound. Sound is his word, prolific are his lyrics, spellbound are the results. His light is what you see. The incandescence of his presence is eternally in and all around me. Born to be free, a walking, talking, and praising testimony. I was born to be simply me, not just me. I was born to be the best me God called me to be. Born to be. It's your girl, Pashay Gibson, a.k.a. Sister Shay, also known as Shay Butter, broadcasting live. I thank y'all for listening. Welcome back. I am back. I am back. I am back. Peace and blessings. Peace and blessings, fam.